sport to watch. I like it more watching if I have like somebody I know in it, but it's not my favorite sport to watch. World Cup's exciting, but if it's on, I'll watch it. That's kind of how I feel.
Well, even if we lose, we're still World War II champs.
Yeah, I was making that joke.
Leaving
an
unbroken record on World War championships. So, yeah, there's that.
That's what I was saying earlier in the break room because it was on TV. I was like, well, we won the World Wars. Maybe we can just win this game. But they did lose. But they are advancing.
Still the World War champs.
Ghana lost, so the United States, apparently, according to Church, they're still advancing.
Wait, what? So we lost and we're still going forward?
Yeah,
That doesn't even make any sense to me.
That's how tournaments work. Because if another team loses, depending on their record, because Ghana already had that loss, I guess, so we move forward.
That win, we didn't build, so the advancement, we didn't build that.
Well, I mean, it's just that's the way tournaments work. I don't know if you've ever been, in tournaments or anything like that with sports. I mean, I used to play hockey tournaments. That's the way it would go. We'd win one game, tie one, and lose like 2 or 3, and we could still advance because of how bad the other teams were.
Well, I mean, I'm not saying that I don't find that method valid. It's just kind of interesting.
You're just saying they didn't build it.
Yeah. They didn't build that. That's all right. We live in a society that gives participation trophies, so that's okay. Let's go ahead and kick it into headlines.
With all the news that is news, it's the Dana Show headlines.
Ooh, this one's going to be good. I'm going to talk more about this, but I can't wait anymore. So, Mr. Edger, via the Huffington Post, here's the headline. NAACP wants Thad Cochran to show some reciprocity. See, Derek Johnson, who's the president of the Mississippi NAACP, said, yeah, maybe Thad Cochran could thank black voters by supporting efforts to reestablish protections in Voting Rights Act that SCOTUS struck down last year. Come on, Thad Cochran, put up or shut up. And he's still going, where am I? I tweeted that to Haley Barber, the story. I said, hey, Haley Barber, look at this. He could read it with his Jimmy Dean sausage fingers. So we're going to talk more about that because this is going to be interesting. I'm going to have to pop some popcorn, sit back and watch this. Hey, they didn't know what they were getting into, apparently. They just wanted to win at all costs. This is a blow for Michael Bloomberg. New York's High Court won't reinstate the New York City big soda ban. Now, here's the weird thing. So everyone's like, oh, big gulps are banned. Technically, big gulps aren't banned because 7-Elevens are classified as supermarkets, and so big drinks aren't banned in supermarkets. That's when they had the big drink ban. Those were the only areas where big drinks actually weren't banned. So you could still go in one of those and get a supersized soda. I don't know, what they call it, soda up there? Or is it soft drink? I know there's like a big war about what these things are called. I'm saying soda. Who says soft drink anyway, by the way? Who says soft drink? I would like a soft drink. No one says that. So, soda. So anyway, you could still go in there and get it. It says, guzzlers, according to the Associated Press, guzzlers prevailed Thursday as New York's highest court refused to reinstate New York City's completely idiotic, I may have added that, ban on the sale of big sodas, ruling that the city's health department overstepped its bounds when approved the 16-ounce cap on sugary beverages. 20-page ruling. They said basically, no, you can't sit here. Oh, my gosh, if I were in New York, I would get a big, giant soda, and I'd sit on the steps of the City Hall and drink that big, giant soda. Delicious. So that's a win for big soda drinkers right there. Don't you like that? That's kind of neat. Let's see. What do we have? Audio, soundbite. Let's see. 18. Alan Colmes. He's so weird. Listen to this.
You know, it's funny to me that conservatives who always talk about how much they love the Constitution, and yet somebody exercises their constitutional rights and is declared guilty, which you're not supposed to be, simply because you invoke the Fifth Amendment. Since when does invoking the Fifth Amendment indicate guilt? I mean, I love how conservatives always tell me how much they admire and respect and basically want to have sex with the Constitution.
What? He is so gross. Ooh, stop it. Fire Marshal Bill. He's so gross. That doesn't, first off, he doesn't understand apparently how the Fifth Amendment works. He was talking about Lois Lerner. Lois Lerner began talking and then tried to invoke her Fifth Amendment. If you're going to do Fifth Amendment, you don't say anything except Fifth Amendment. So it's not a free speech issue. She was in a hearing, and it's open for further investigation.
The Dana Show. Talk lines are open now at 866-455-9797. This is The Dana Show.
I would humbly call upon President Obama to speak out for Miriam. There is no one who has a bully pulpit like the President of the United States. This is a case that cries for presidential leadership. Her husband is an American from New Hampshire. Her babies are Americans. And this is a grotesque example of religious persecution.
Yeah. Well, Miriam Ibrahim, after being detained again for 48 hours in Sudan, after the death penalty was dropped because she was raised Christian. Her Muslim father abandoned the family, but Sudan said, well, because your dad was Muslim, you have to be Muslim and you're an apostate. And we're just going to say you committed adultery because you did marry a Muslim man. You married a Christian one instead. Has 2 children, had her second, who's a month old, while she was in jail, shackled to the bed. So the death penalty against her after international outcry was dropped. And then so she and her husband and their legal team and their children were getting ready to travel, getting ready to go back. Her husband, Daniel Wani, is American citizen, lives in New Hampshire. They were going to go travel back to the United States. She was going to go back to New Hampshire with him. And then Sudan, they're a security group, which is apparently a terror group almost, sounds like, the descriptions anyway. They don't have to bring people to court, and they're notorious for torturing people. They detained her. They arrested her again. Well, 48 hours later, after a lot of intense international pressure, Sudan has released her once more, and they have to fly to South Sudan, and then they're going to be heading back to heading to the United States, I believe. Sudan should just go ahead and get rid of this. Should let her leave and do whatever it can to make sure that she leaves expeditiously so that they can stop being so publicly embarrassed. I mean, it's ridiculous. It's crazy. But this, that's women. You want to talk about a war on women? There's your war on women there. This, there's a couple of things that I want to get into. Where's my other? Here's, was discussing before we went to break. I said I wanted to talk more about it. The NAACP wants Thad Cochran to show reciprocity because Thad Cochran has reached out to predominantly black precincts in Mississippi to try to scare up votes. He didn't go into these communities. Where's this? Let me get the David Corn audio. So I'm talking about audio soundbite 19. Play this.
The best thing to do is vote Democratic in the fall and pay him back. But I don't think that's going to happen. I mean, two interesting things here, Steve, is that the Republican Party has been trying to get black people to vote for it for a long time, and finally when it happens, the Tea Partiers get upset.
Wow, that is such a disingenuous. No wonder he's a progressive. People like David Corn are why women like me run away from stuff like that. It's a disingenuous response. People aren't angry, and it's not Tea Partiers. It's just people in general. They're not angry that, and this is the first time, by the way, that progressives haven't wanted to tar and feather and verbally lynch anyone who is a black American and voted for a Republican, because we see how progressives treat black Republicans and black conservatives and black Tea Partiers daily. We see that. I had one in my timeline yesterday, of course, after rape fetishizing me, was using the racial slur against every elected black Republican he could find. So we know how progressives treat black Americans. It's one of the reasons I left the party. I was a registered Democrat. I did all the get out the vote and everything. It's one of the reasons I left. It's systemic, and they won't admit it. They keep acting like they're not. I've seen it. I've seen it. I lived it. And for David Corn to sit here now, see, people who are conservative, they don't care if black Americans vote Democrat or Republican, or libertarian or independent. Just vote. Progressives are like, you lose your blackness if you vote for a Republican or libertarian. You can only vote Democrat. So let's be real, David